Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing the mid-year freakout book tag and I'm actually freaking out because my reading goal is 50 and I've already hit 66 books. So I upped the goal to 100 and it's actually kind of disappointing because I hoped that by now I would be busier with my life to where I wouldn't have hit that goal. Here we are. So I'm really excited about these questions. I really thought long and hard about them and I'm trying not to repeat any books because I have so many wonderful books to choose from and I don't want to repeat it. I want to talk about as many amazing books as I can. So if you are into books, please like this video and subscribe and let's just jump into it. So the first question is best book. I have read a lot of really good books this year, but there's actually one that stands out above the rest and it's really interesting because I wouldn't expect this book to be the one that I'm like, oh my god, I have to read about this, and I actually don't own it. I got it from the library, but I think I'm going to have to go and get a copy, and that is Carrie Soto is Back. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I think that she is an amazing author, but something about this book, I literally ate it up, and I have read like all of the big reads and a lot of them this year, but there is something about Carrie Soto that just stands above the rest, and I thought about putting more than one book for this question, but honestly, like, this book is the one that stands above all the rest. I literally don't even know why. It's about Carrie Soto. She is a professional tennis player. She is really good at tennis. She beats a bunch of records. She retires, and at the age of 37 she sees someone who is about to beat her tennis record, so she decides to train and compete in tennis again to try to take back her record, and it's just amazing. I read the whole book in like a day and a half. I could not put it down. I think I just love Carrie Soto. Like, she's not a very likable character. She's very arrogant. She's very sure of herself, and I just loved that about her. There would be scenes of like the tennis matches and you would be reading about the tennis matches, and I literally was on the edge of my seat. Like, I had to know if she won her matches. It was so unlike any other reading experience I've ever had. Like, I loved it. It was literally so good, and I don't think that anything else, even though I have had other 5-star reads this year, nothing else compared. Okay, and then the next question is the best sequel. I've read all of the books in the Magnolia Park series, so obviously not the first one because that's not a sequel, but all of them coming after. So good. I fell in love. I wish that I got my hands on the physical copies before she changed the covers because I hate the new covers. But the Magnolia Park series is Gossip Girl in London and toxic relationships that absolutely never ever work out. I'm telling you right now. But it's just so entertaining. It's like watching a drama, like a reality TV show. You can't look away. And I thought that the sequels and the book coming after the first one wouldn't be as good, but they genuinely just got better and better and better, and I can't wait to see what happens next. New release that I haven't read but want to. So I have all of the Chestnut Springs books. The last one I think is the new release, like Flawless, Reckless, I don't know what the other one is called, but I have heard so many people talk about these books. I just need to read them, and I don't love romance. That's not really a genre that I find myself drawn to or that I love, but I just need to know what the hype is about. So Chestnut Springs book, usually I'm really good with new releases. Like, I have a timer on my calendar and I like read it the first day that it's out. But I have not gotten around to Chestnut Springs, and I need to. So the fourth question is most anticipated release, and that is without a doubt Iron Flame, which did the second book to Fourth Wing, which I literally woke up one day and my TikTok feed was filled with Fourth Wing, and I was like, what the hell is this book? But it was really good. I didn't give it a 5 stars. I gave it a 4.5 because I hated the romance in that book. It literally irritated me and drove me up a wall. I have not felt like a teenager in a very long time reading a book, and I just felt like a teenager reading those books. And like when I was reading like Hunger Games Divergent, I got the same type of feelings, and I just need to read the next one. I need to know what happens next. The next question is biggest disappointment. Now this is a question that came easiest to me because there were so many disappointments this year so far. And I mean, I'm not even telling you all the disappointments in this video, which is so disappointing to me, but I was just expecting a lot from a lot of books and they just didn't deliver. So the first one that I have to talk about is the book of the Air trilogy. So this is the Cruel Prince trilogy, and I just finished it like a week ago, I think a week and a half ago. I was so disappointed. First of all, I loved The Cruel Prince. I thought it was a great book. It was setting up a lot and I was just like so shocked and surprised. And then The Wicked King was like pretty mid, like it was decent. I also got surprised at the end of this book. I did not see it coming. I don't even know how I avoided all the spoilers, so I'm proud of myself for that. But then The Queen of Nothing, oh my god, I was so disappointed with it. So I was just like waiting for everything to wrap up beautifully and wonderfully, and it just didn't deliver. The crossover between the mortal world and the fairy world, it was just like, I don't know, there were a lot of things that didn't make sense. Also, the characters really confused me, especially Jude, our main character. She confused me so much because, like, just her, like, feelings towards her sister, like, one second she'd be like, oh my god, I want to kill her, but, like, actually she wants to kill her. Like, it's not like, oh my god, I want to kill her. Like, she wants to kill her. And the next second she's like, oh my god, I would die for you. Like, I was just confused. I don't think I'm gonna read another book by Holly Black, but I don't know. I just feel like this was a good draft, but she like could have made it way better. Like, it just had so much potential and it just wasn't there. Okay, and then the other book I want to talk about for biggest disappointment was Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I loved the Six of Crows duology. I read that earlier this year and I hated Ninth House. I didn't think it made much sense at all. I see a lot of people saying that the second book is so much better. Like, they didn't like Ninth House. The second one is hellbent and it's so much better. I'm just literally not even gonna give it a chance because I have so many things that I need to read, and Ninth House was just so horrible. It was just so boring and not a lot of it made sense. So that's why that was the biggest disappointment. Next we have biggest surprise, and I'm gonna give that to the Dance of Thieves duology. Go read this, pick it up right now. It's on Kindle Unlimited, which is where I read it, but I want to pick it up because the covers are so beautiful. This is fantasy, enemies to lovers, but like real enemies to lovers. Like, these people hated each other. So good. It was really so good. So good. So if you want a good fantasy read, pick it up. It's just a duology. It didn't take me that long. It's a really easy world to understand, really easy writing, and I think that you need to read the Dance of Thieves duology. It's also great if you don't want to pick up something long like the Throne of Glass series or even Akatar. If you want fantasy but not something that's gonna take you a million years, Dance of Thieves. Alright, next we have a favorite author. So this goes to my girl, Abby Jimenez. I read Part of Your World and Yours Truly this year. I freaking loved those books. First of all, Part of Your World, I read that earlier this year when I was in college, and it just made me so happy. I was sitting in my little dorm room and I just, oh my god, it was just so cute. It was just a cute little book. It's a small town romance, so the guy from a small town and the girl's from like a big town, and it's about how the logistics of that work. Yours Truly is like a doctor romance, and oh my god, it's so good. Also, she writes extreme anxiety on the guy in Yours Truly, and I have really bad anxiety, and so I loved reading about it. And they're just like feel good. It's not super cringy. The only thing that was cringy is that they talk about TikTok in Yours Truly, and I didn't like that. But other than that, it was just really good. So I love her book. I'm gonna read everything that she writes. The next question is newest fictional crush. Now, I just finished the Twisted series, and I still gotta give this to Julian Hayes from Magnolia Park. First of all, there are so many good ones from Magnolia Park. I have to give it to Julian because he's just perfect. Not really, actually. If you read Magnolia Parks, he's not perfect at all, but he's perfect to me I just love Julian, and I loved reading about his job that he does and how protective he is over his sister, and just like what he did for Magnolia, which is perfect. And then my other one is Josh Chen from the Defected series. I love him. He's also just my type, so I knew reading it I was gonna love it, and I did. Alright, next we have new favorite character. There are so many good ones for this one. I genuinely didn't know what to do, but I have Kaz and Inez from the Six of Crows duology. I just love the whole found family. Particularly, I like Inez a little bit more because I just think her story is so interesting, and Kaz is really like arrogant, but I still love him. I just love Six of Crows and just how they use their skills to do the job and everything that they go through, and just the little like secrets and deception. Love it. Loved reading about them. The next question is a book that made you cry, and I literally cry all the time in books. I don't really cry a lot in real life, but when I read books, I cry all the time. There are two books that come to mind because I like ugly cried in both of them. So the first one was earlier this year, and it's called I Fell in Love with Hope by Lan Colley, and I just... something about this book, I just love it, and I own it and I can't find it, and it's actually like making me so upset right now, but it's really good. I knew I was gonna cry, but I didn't realize like how good of a writer she was gonna be, and she actually had a YouTube channel. This book is about two people falling in love, but one of them is just very, very sick, and it's just dealing with the trauma of that basically, but the way that she wrote it is so lyrical, and I 100% recommend it. Like, I think that everyone needs to read that book. It was very good. And then the next one I read a couple weeks ago, and that's Anxious People by Frederica Backman. Now, I didn't cry until I finished this book, and then I shut it and like clutched it to my chest like a baby and just sobbing. Like, I just couldn't stop because I'm weird like that. But this book is about a lot of different things, but nothing at all but everything. Like, that's what he does. And it's basically about a bank robber who robbed a bank, and then all of their lives are intertwined by people that the bank robber has in custody because they stole a bank, but it's also a hostage situation. I cried so much. The way everybody was intertwined like that, I can't. I just couldn't handle it. So highly recommend. And that's also a book that I think everybody would really, really enjoy. Alright, next we have a book that made me happy, and I have two of them for it. The first book that I have is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I love this book. It just made me really happy because first of all, I wasn't gonna buy it. I placed a hold on it for my library, but there were like 29 people in front of me for a hold, and I was like, I'm not waiting a whole year to read this book. So I went out and bought it. It was literally so good. This is about an author who steals another author's manuscript. So basically the other author dies and she steals it and publishes it. And it's about her kind of like guilt and feelings after she processes the book because she wasn't a popular author. She was kind of failing, and now she is because she published this work, and it's just so interesting. And people are saying that they love it because of the bigger conversations that it brings about the publishing world and just like kind of the dark side of publishing. I think it's just a really entertaining book, and it just was so geniusly done that it just made me really happy. It's so good. Please read. And then I reread the Throne of Glass series for the third time in January. It was like the first thing that I read. I was finishing up my reread, and it just made me so happy because I love that series, and it's my favorite series in the entire world, and I don't care what anyone says. It is so good. So that made me so happy, and I want to do my fourth reread, but I don't really reread things, so the fact that I even want to reread something once means a lot, but that just made me so happy. Next up, we have Most Beautiful Book. I have two of them for it. So the first one is Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. This is the most beautiful book I think I own ever. It's literally so cute. I was really disappointed by this book because I loved Every Summer After, but I was so excited for this book. I really enjoyed my reading experience with it. It's about Will and Fern, and it's a second chance romance, but the thing that really like kind of irritated me is that Will and Fern only knew each other for like 14 hours, like not even a full day. And also the thing that irritated me is that they weren't even like a thing back in the day because they were both dating other people. So it just made it hard to believe that 9 years later they have like a crazy connection because it's just not believable. Okay, I have 2 more beautiful books to show you. So the other one is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I also did not enjoy this book at all. I think that it is way overhyped. It's not that good. It is easy to understand, but I feel like nothing happens in this, and the second one isn't even that much better. I feel like it could have been so much more developed, and people are saying that they love Jax and that Jax is like their newest favorite crush, but like Jax is not a great character. He gets better in the second one. I don't know, I just feel like it could have been more developed. Also, you definitely don't need to read the Caraval series, like not at all, to understand it. And then my last most beautiful book is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. First of all, I have this like special edition and it has like the crinkled pages in it. I just love it. It's also like huge. Look at that. I gave this book 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I read it a couple of weeks ago. I annotated it, like it's highlighted and written all over. And it's just really good. This is about Addie who makes a deal with the devil basically, and she's just completely invisible. Like she gets erased from people's minds as soon as she meets them, and it's really sad. Also really good, and the writing is just amazing. I love this book. The last question is, what book do you need to read by the end of the year? I have 2. So the first one is Babel by R.F. Kuang. This was a lot of people's best read of 2022, and I need to read it. I'm definitely not going to read it until the fall. It's really intimidating to me. I don't really know what it's about, but I am making my way through the Poppy War trilogy right now, and that's really good. And so I have faith that this one's going to be good, but I can't get through 530 pages right now, but I need to by the end of the year. And then the last book that I need to read by the end of the year is Legend Born by Tracy Dion. I have the second book on my Kindle because it's not out in paperback yet, and that bothers me. I just need to read it. I don't know why I haven't delved into this one yet. I just not in the mood for this. I love fantasy, but something about this seemed intimidating to me because it's so thick. How many pages? Oh my god, yeah. The first book is like 500 pages and the print is so small, but hopefully I'll get into this by the time the year ends. Alrighty guys, so that was the mid-year book tag. Hopefully I will read up to 100 books and probably more by the end of the year. If you liked this video and made it this far, first of all, thank you, but please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.